Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Fifth Quarter Podcast, where we talk about everything sports. Browns are, 1-1? How the hell did I not know that? But we're coming off victory week. Got another game on Sunday. Very excited about this game. We're going to talk a little bit about Odell Beckham, Browns recap, Browns versus Bears preview, and then we're going to get a little bit dive into the Browns linebacker position. It seems to be where their weak spot is. So, with that being said, let's jump right into it. Question of the week. Odell Beckham's coming back this week. Very excited about that, especially with the loss of Jarvis Landry. Sean posted the question of the week asking, what type of performance do we most likely see from Odell Beckham? 33% of the people voted for 3 grabs, 50 yards, no touchdowns. 44% of the people said 5 catches, 75 yards, and a touchdown. And then, did anybody vote for the last one? 6 catches, 100-plus yards, and a touchdown?
Yeah, they did. I don't know. I just literally noticed that it wasn't in there, so let me find it. My bad.
I got it. You're good. You're good, my guy. Oh, damn.
23%.
Okay, so 23% of the people said that. I picked this 5 grabs, 75 yards, and 1 touchdown, although I'm not too confident picking that. I think the smart answer and the common answer would be 3 grabs for 50 yards, no touchdowns, just because I don't want to say I don't expect a lot, but I don't know. I guess I feel like somebody coming off an ACL tear, we're going to use him more passively. You know what I mean? So I picked 5 catches, 75 yards, and a touchdown. We know that he can do more, but, I feel like it'll probably be, might not score, maybe 75 yards, 5 catches, but I don't think we'll see anything crazy. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
I picked 5 catches for 75 yards and a touchdown as well. But I'm more confident in that than I think you are. Mainly being the Bears, I think they're going to stack the box. They're going to try and stop the run.
Good luck.
Also, Jarvis is out. He's a short yardage guy. He's kind of a target hawk as far as the receivers go, not including the tight ends, but out of the 4 receivers we've had so far, Jarvis has been the target.
Yeah.
Odell is coming off an ACL injury. We know that, but it was rumored he was going to play week 1. It was rumored he was going to play week 2. For all we know, he could be fully healthy by now. It may have been skeptical week 1, week 2. I also read that week 3 was always the target. So if week 3 was always the target, they knew he was going to be ready. He took 100% of the practice reps this week. No setbacks whatsoever. So I think he's fully back. He's healthy. He's ready to go. His mind's in it. He knows he has to step up with Jarvis out. So I can definitely see them getting him involved early. I know we always say that the game plan should be run, which it should. But the Bears do have a pretty stout defensive front. They always have. Their secondary has kind of always been iffy. So far this year, they've been kind of iffy. They got shredded by the Rams, and then they had a good game against the Bengals where Burrow threw 3 picks, but it's the fucking Bengals, so I don't really, the Rams absolutely shredded them. Cooper Kupp had 200 yards, so their defensive backs are sketch, and as someone who can definitely exploit that is a guy like Odell Beckham. You mix in a guy like Felton and Anthony Schwartz, you got speed all around you. You got DPJ and Higgins as well. So I can definitely see us taking advantage of that. They're definitely still going to try and run the ball, but I could definitely see them getting Odell involved early and often, and that's why, he could have 4 catches in the first quarter,
Yeah.
So he has the rest of the game to get in the end zone. But
interesting stat to talk about here before we talk a little bit of the Browns versus Texans. But if you remember last year, everybody always mentioned Odell Beckham trying to force the ball to Odell Beckham, and that's why he, had all those turnovers, whatever, or not last year, the year before. And then they said, last year when Odell Beckham got hurt, he plays better when Odell Beckham's not on the field, and, when he's not forcing the ball. And Baker Mayfield came out and said, I don't believe that. It's we just progressed as a team. And if you look at the stat, Baker Mayfield leads the league in completion percentage with 81%. And I'm pretty sure the stat that I saw, don't quote me on this, I should have it in front of me, but it was the highest completion percentage in NFL history in the first 2 weeks of football. I'm pretty sure that's what the stat was. It was something like first ever with his completion percentage. So my point of saying this is we'll see how he throws the ball. Now, Baker Mayfield could just have an off game. It is what it is. It happens. But with him starting out hot throwing the ball first 2 games, we'll see if that whole conspiracy of him forcing the ball to Odell Beckham and, we're better without OBJ on the field. We'll see all those conspiracies either die or live up to the hype that people, tried to put around them this week.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not saying we shouldn't get him the ball because he's the best wide receiver that's going to be playing tomorrow, without a doubt. So do I want to see him try and get the ball? For sure. I'm just more of a worried about guy coming off an injury. Anybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the type of person I am. But, Kevin Stefanski might have something different in mind of let's get Odell Beckham the ball. Looks great. And who knows? Anthony Schwartz could have a big game. You know what I mean? Because you got Odell Beckham who can beat you downfield and make those big catches. And then you have Anthony Schwartz who I feel is going to be best just burning the receiver, getting behind or the secondary, getting behind the secondary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
So I, kind of got off subject of, OBJ's performance, but it'll be interesting to see. We're gonna see a lot this week, and it makes me excited. I'm happy Odell Beckham's back. Shitty that Jarvis got hurt, but whatever. So moving on, Browns versus Texans recap. The first half of the game was kind of scary. Tyrod Taylor didn't look terrible. I mean, he wasn't absolutely destroying us. I didn't think that in the end that they could beat us regardless because we were running the ball however we wanted to. But it was a little scary, you know what I mean? And then, what was it, 14-14 at halftime?
Yep.
Yeah, 14-14 at halftime. Tyrod was 10 of 11, 125 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. He had a rushing touchdown. I'm pretty sure Baker was like 10 of 12, 115 yards.
Yeah, with a pick.
Did he have a touchdown? Did he have a touchdown in the first half?
I can't remember. To Felton? I want to say that was in the third.
No, that was the fullback. The Janovich had a touchdown in the first half.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm pretty
Baker
sure
he ran one in, yeah.
I'm sure that was the first quarter. Let me see. I'm looking at the highlights in the bottom right corner here on the Yahoo page, but I'm pretty sure he did run it in.
Yeah, he ran one in.
And then Felton, and then did we have 3 touchdowns in the second half?
Yeah. No, we had
Chubb.
2.
Yeah, I thought Kareem had one for some reason. But anyway, so, Baker Mayfield didn't play terrible. Finished the game 19 of 21, 213 yards, 1 pick. You hate to see it.
That was on Schwartz.
But yeah, you got to keep running. You can't stop for that pass. You know what I'm saying? And then Baker Mayfield gets hurt,
right,
which was scary as shit,
Yeah, Baker played efficient for sure. I mean, you don't ever want to see the interception, but I'll kind of brush that one off a little bit. Whether Schwartz was going to catch the ball or not, you got to at least try to deflect it or get the defenders away so that it's not an easy pick. And then Baker obviously never gets hurt because then picks never made. There's no one running. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a what if kind of thing. But I really do think the offense was kind of going through the motions. I really don't think they were trying to blow the roof off. They seem to have been playing pretty conservative on offense and defense until they know, like at halftime when it was 14-14, I bet at halftime they're like, all right, guys, let's open up the playbook a little bit and get these guys put away before it gets too late. We saw much improvement. Texans only scored 1 time in the second half. Wasn't until the fourth quarter, and I'm pretty sure the game is already out of reach. So they played a lot better in the second half, but I really do think they were kind of holding back. You know, I mean, you hate to see it because any given Sunday in the NFL you can lose, but it was just two completely different teams from the first half to second half, to where I really do think they were playing way more conservative and weren't trying to show anything or do too much on defense as far as blitzing and scheming and that sort of thing, which makes our defense look bad, obviously, because we really didn't see much blitzing. And in the second half, that's when Delpit was coming on blitzes and, forcing fumbles.
I love to see.
All that
love
stuff.
to see.
Yeah, do that for 4 quarters. Because if you don't do that for 4 quarters against anybody else other than the Texans, you might lose.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it just, like you said, it seems like, or it makes me wonder why they didn't bring any pressure. Because I feel like they didn't bring a lot of pressure week 1 against Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? You would love to see that Delpit, that Delpit blitz like against the Chiefs,
Right. Yeah.
Or something of that nature. So moving forward, I think I would like to see that this week. Will we see it? I don't know. But yeah, for the most part, they played conservative, like you said. I like the word Baker Mayfield played efficient. He did what he had to do. Excuse me. He made one mistake that you could argue, teeth and nail, that it wasn't his fault. And, he did what he had to do, and we got the W. Granted, Tyrod Taylor did get hurt, didn't play the whole second half, because if he did, the game's much closer, I personally think. But once again, Nick Chubb just played out of his mind. 11 rushes for 95 yards, averaged 8 yards a carry, and 1 rushing touchdown. You know what I mean? Like, in the second half, we really just ran the ball down their throats.
Yeah.
If you remember, I mean, Chubb had that 26-yard touchdown run that was just incredible. Felton had a couple passes that were, he's great after the catch as a running back. He had 2 catches for 51 yards, and he had.
And I think one was a screen pass, and the other one was a real short throw and catch, and he just made people miss.
So, like, I like that. I like him. You know what I'm saying? When I remember you were talking about him over Dearness Johnson in the preseason, and I don't know. I'm excited to see how this guy plays moving forward. But I don't know. Not much really more to say. Our defense, scared me in the first half. But I don't know. I'd like to see more Myles Garrett action. 3 tackles. Clowney had 3 tackles. Malcolm Smith had 8 tackles. Grant Delpit, 6 tackles, 3 solo tackles, a sack, and he caused that fumble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Greg Newsome didn't play terrible. 3 tackles. I don't know. Mac Wilson had 4 tackles, but once again, like I said, I think our defense played a little iffy. I don't know.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm impressed. I mean, we got the dub. That's all that matters.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, we got the dub. So what can I really complain about? You know what I mean? So, with that being said, Browns versus Bears preview. I'm actually gonna pull up the page and do what I normally do and look at their offenses and all that other good shit. So, Justin Fields is playing, Ohio State guy. I'm excited to watch him play. You know what I mean? Am I allowed to say that on a Browns podcast? I don't know.
Sorry, I was muted, but yeah.
I'm excited to watch him play. Is that bad of me? Is that terrible?
I'm excited, dude. I mean, I love Justin Fields at Ohio State. I hope he doesn't play well tomorrow, but I hope he has a great career.
I mean, he can play well. I just want to get the W.
Yeah, I want to see us shut him down completely.
Oh yeah, for sure. I want to see. Back to what I talked about, like with the Del Pitt blitz. I want to see more of that. bring the pressure. Rookie quarterback, first NFL start. The Bears aren't the greatest team. You know what I mean? So, throw some pressure at him, see how he handles it. Get Myles Garrett. You know what I mean? Let's see Myles Garrett get to the quarterback. I know it's easier said than done, especially from a spectator, a spectator point of view. But I want to see him and Clowney get to him. You know what I mean? See what we can do. I mean, fucking what's his name? Malik McDowell.
Yeah,
that's his name, right? Is it Malik McDowell?
Malik McDowell. Yeah. I think to see if we're gonna see Myles have a crazy game as far as sacks and TFLs and things like that, we have to send pressure because he gets double teamed every single play. So if you're only sending 3 defensive linemen and there's 5 offensive linemen plus a tight end, that's 2 on 2. On 2. If the tight end's staying in the block plus the running back. So you have to send pressure to get guys like that. I mean, he'll get on his own at some point, absolutely. But if you want to see consistent ruckus in the backfield against a rookie quarterback, you need to send pressure. And Justin Fields can run. So if you're only sending 3 guys, he's probably going to outrun Jadeveon Clowney. He might not outrun Myles Garrett, but he'll outrun.
He definitely ain't going to run out HOU, I don't think.
Right. But you have to get the guys in his face. If you just leave, there's 3 down linemen and they blow up the edge. He can run right up the middle. There's no one in front of him. He's going to get 5-7 yards. Yeah. But if you're sending HOU up the middle, he ain't going to get away from him.
No. Speaking of line, actually, I don't want to get off topic because we're talking about Browns versus Bears. Actually, whatever. I'll talk about it later in the show because we got shit we're going to talk about. Excuse me. Like we talked about, send pressure to the quarterback. You know what I mean? Get him uncomfortable in the pocket. Blitz more. I don't want to say blitz often. I know you got that wrote down in the notes and everything, but blitz. You know what I mean? Send some goddamn pressure.
You have to.
Let's see that Grant Delpit. You know what I mean? I
mean, the Bears really only have one offensive weapon that can really do a lot of damage, and that's Allen Robinson. But if we have Ward on him, that's going to be a battle. So you really don't have to risk. I mean, Darnell Mooney's good. Cole Kmet, their tight end's decent. You don't really have to worry about, okay, we take one less guy out of the secondary to send him on a blitz. We're leaving Ward one-on-one with Allen Robinson. I'll take that every single day. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need, it's not Tyreek Hill where you need 2 guys back there every time in case he blows past your cornerback. So, like I said, they've got a little bit of speed. David Montgomery is decent. He's not going to he's not very fast. He's kind of in between the tackles. You don't have to worry about, crazy things happening on the offensive side of the ball. They're pretty average. We've seen that so far this year. I know they had Andy Dalton, but I mean, Justin Fields is still a rookie. There was a reason why I wasn't starting yet. So give him fits like any other rookie quarterback. He's bound to make a mistake. Yes, he's a crazy athlete. I get it. But the NFL moves a lot faster than college, and this is going to be his first real in-game starting experience. I know he's played a couple times in the red zone, and they've created some gadget plays for him and things like that. But when you're the starting quarterback, that's a whole nother ball game. Yeah. Teams are preparing for Justin Fields, especially
against a team with a defense of our caliber. I know it hasn't shown, you know what I mean, like the first 2 weeks, although our defense played better last week than it did week 1. And I think that's how it's going to be. They're going to progress more and more as they come together. You know what I mean? But because you got to think about it. I mean, how many new guys really do we got on the offense? I mean, we got a lot. You know,
offense or defense?
Or defense. My bad.
Yeah, almost everybody except for Clowney, Ward, Smith, Wilson.
Yeah, I mean,
Harrison. I mean, because Delpit's new. He didn't play last year, so everyone else is new.
I mean, Clowney's new. McDowell's a new guy. You know, I'm talking about just all around, whether they're starting or they get most of the plays, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Tack McKinley's a newer guy. Malik McDowell, like I said, Jadeveon Clowney, Owusu, Malcolm Smith.
Walker.
Malcolm Smith didn't play last year, did he?
Yeah, he did.
I thought he was injured last year.
No, he played.
Okay, either way.
We brought him like halfway. It wasn't all season. We brought him in like halfway through the season or something.
Delpit, Troy Hill, John Johnson, LeCount is a rookie, Greg Newsome is a rookie. I mean, we didn't see a lot of Greedy last year.
Right.
So like I said, it just it doesn't prove my point, but it supports my point of saying that as the weeks go on and the season goes on, our defense is going to gel and you're going to see them come together more. So back to my original point, your rookie quarterback, Justin Fields, coming in, making that statement saying, it's not much, they say that the NFL's faster, you know what I mean, than college. And he said, it's kind of slow. I mean, you're going to see in your first NFL start, we'll see. Like I said, I wish him well. Ohio State quarterbacks have proven to not be good whatsoever in the NFL. So for that sake, you want to see him do good, but it'll be interesting. I'm going to break down like the team comparisons because I like doing that. You know what I mean? The Bears are ranked 31st in passing yards per game, 166. Browns are 14th, 267. Browns are ranked third in the NFL in rushing yards per game with 154. Bears are eighth. Who have they played, though, these first two games?
The Rams and Bengals.
Yeah. So Rams got a good defense. So for them to be eighth, impressive stat. I didn't think they'd be, that well off. But total yards per game, they're ranked 30th. You know what I mean? They're not getting a lot of yards on offense.
Yeah.
Browns are ninth. Points per game, Browns are sixth. Bears are 28th. Not scoring a lot of points. Time of possession, which really I don't even think is a worthy stat to mention, but Bears are ninth, Browns are 16th. Why does that matter? Don't know. Passing yards against per game, Bears are 14th. Teams are averaging 250 passing yards. Good sign for us. We're ranked worse, but we played Chiefs week 1. Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill went for 193.
Right.
So you could put an asterisk against that comparison. Rushing yards against per game, Browns are ninth. Bears are fifth. So overall, you know what I mean.
Like I said, they played the Rams. The Rams didn't throw the ball. They didn't run the ball.
Yeah. So
it's hard to go off that off 2 weeks, but it's good insight.
For sure. Yeah. You take it with a huge grain of salt. You know what I mean? Because it, like you said, it's 2 weeks, so it doesn't really hold any weight to it. But later on in the season, I do like to go off those team comparisons. So I don't know. Let's talk about the offense. Moving on to Browns versus Bears. So once again, last week ran the ball. And you see what happens. You know what I mean? I would have liked to see Nick Chubb get the ball a little bit more, not to talk more about last week, but he only ran the ball, I think like 11 times. I want to see him get the ball more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If, they do have a good, defensive line. So, and like you said, they're going to stack the box to stop the run. So that really, focusing on the run is going to be dependent on the type of defense, you know what I mean? If they're stacking the box or all that other shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
So, and then, see what happens with Odell Beckham.
Yeah, I hope he blows up.
We'll see. I mean, hopefully he has a Cowboys game, or Cowboys-like game, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. What else you got to add, Browns versus Bears? If not, we'll keep moving forward.
I'm excited, man. I mean, we played average last week on offense, so it's a good week to bounce back against a decent defense. They always say you want to play the best against better teams. Bears defense is, they're not bad. They're decent. But this is a game where you kind of want to open things up a little bit more, get some guys involved, get some big chunk plays, just get in a good rhythm that you can roll into next week. We didn't see that last week. Like I said, they were taking it easy. But I want to see them get in a good rhythm this week and open things up, get different guys involved, and spread the ball around and that sort of thing. Just have an all-around complete game and end up with a win.
I like it. I'm excited that we'll be there at the game. We didn't mention that at all. We haven't mentioned that will be at the game. So I think, let me see. I think since I went to games as Baker Mayfield as the quarterback, I'm pretty sure I haven't seen them lose. Which I've only been to 2 games.
Knock on some wood.
I don't have any wood, so I'll knock on my plastic table. I saw him play his rookie year against the Bengals in the second half of the season, and they absolutely torched them. And then we went in 2019 when the Browns played the Dolphins, and it was an absolute. I mean, the Browns just beat the shit out of them. So, maybe I'll be. Never mind, I'm not even going to say it because I'm not even going to jinx it. So anyway, moving on. We're going to talk a little bit about the Browns linebacker position. What should the Browns do? Mac Wilson, average. You give him chance after chance, especially me. I'm a guy, loved Josh Gordon. I believed in second chance after second chance after second chance. And so me saying that, I'm fed up with Mac Wilson is kind of a contradiction, but it's like, you can only, it's different between comparing him to like me talking about Josh Gordon getting chance after chance, because Josh Gordon had that great season where you knew it was there, but could he just tap into that? Whereas Mac Wilson has never shown signs of eliteness. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, Malcolm Smith, you're saying he's average. Elaborate on that.
I don't want to call him average, but he's just kind of there. Like he's a veteran. He's a guy you can put in there and feel confident enough to do enough. But he's no superstar anymore by any means. He had that one good season in Seattle. But he's a savvy vet. He knows the game, and that's why he's there, and that's why he's put in certain situations and things like that. But he's not going to get you over the hump. He's not going to make outstanding plays, although he did have a nice pick last week. He's not, like, I don't know how to really give him an overall grade, but he's just kind of there. Like you put him out there because you have no one else. Like if we had, if Owusu was starting, Malcolm Smith probably wouldn't see the field a bunch. But because they're not confident enough, or whatever the reason is why Owusu's not starting yet, we're getting Malcolm Smith, and they're like, okay, we can live with that over Mac Wilson. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. Anthony Walker, IR. Although they only said, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
So, we can live with it. But, and then they're not ready to give Owusu, a full load, whatever. He's a rookie, whatever. So what do you think the Browns should do?
I think, obviously, the long-term goal, Owusu will be starting. There's no doubt in my mind. But they need to figure something out now, because it's early in the season. Our schedule is not that hard right now. This is where you're supposed to be figuring things out. Maybe that's what they're doing. But you don't want to start him out there against a playoff team late in the season where he hasn't had many starts under his belt, where it's must-win games to clinch, games to move ahead in the division, whatever the case may be. He needs to be comfortable. So when they're playing the Texans and Bears and Vikings next week and things like that, those are the games you need to get him in. I don't say they don't matter, but if he makes a mistake, it's still a long season. He's got plenty of time to learn from it. But if you put him in too late, or if, say, Malcolm Smith gets hurt week 14 and now he's starting, and it's a little different. You know what I mean? So get him out there, get him involved. Use him how they use him in the preseason. The guy was flying around like crazy. We haven't seen that yet. Not in the regular season anyway. Get him comfortable. That he's that type of player where he likes to make big plays. Put him in situations where he can make a big play and his confidence is going to shoot through the roof. So get him out there. I want to see 28 flying all over the field. I don't want to see 51 missing tackles and Malcolm Smith just being too slow to cover guys and things like that. I want to see 28 making plays, or at least getting involved and getting in the way and things like that.
I'm all for it. So who would you rather have Owusu play over Malcolm Smith or Mac Wilson?
Both of them. Owusu needs to play over both. Who would I rather have between Mac and Malcolm, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, Malcolm Smith.
Okay.
At least so far, until Mac Wilson proves otherwise.
So when Anthony Walker's off IR, you'll throw JOK and Anthony Walker out there.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd be confident with that.
So how do you feel about, like, they've been playing Taki?
I don't hate Taki, but he's better than Mack Wilson. He's not very fast. You know, he's a decent tackler, but he's been known to have some blunders and things like that. I would even take Taki over Mack Wilson at this point. Like I said, until he proves otherwise, I've got no reason to see 51 on the field other than special teams.
God damn. Fair enough. So, okay. So what I was talking about earlier in the show is I seen this report. Now, I don't know. I could look it up right now. But I seen this report that the let me see, I'm trying to look up a report that the Cowboys were going to trade that Leighton Vander Esch or whatever, and that the Browns, it was an article that's saying the Browns should, like, jump on that trade.
100% they should.
And that was another thing, is, like, they were saying, like, the Browns could offer a 2023 third round pick for him, because since they have, you know, Micah Parsons,
right, yeah,
you know, and it's like, I was going to ask you, how would you feel about that?
100% take that in a heartbeat. I mean, Vander Esch is at least proven. He's not. I don't know if he's made a Pro Bowl, but he's always in the mix. Sure, you always see that freaking neck pad in the middle of the pile. You know what I mean? Like, that's you just see him. You see him involved. You know, whether he's making the tackle or getting, you know, pushing guys back or just getting in the way. That's what middle linebackers do. They may not make every single tackle, but they're involved on damn near every single play, unless it's 15, 20 yards downfield. So we need a guy like that. Walker is going to be that guy as long as he's healthy, but I would not be mad at Leighton Vander Esch being a Brown.
Yeah, he made the Pro Bowl in 2019. And he's a young guy. You know what I mean? He's only 25.
Yeah, I would take that in a heartbeat.
He was drafted in 2018. And
I mean, the Cowboys' defense is not bad because of him. Let's just say that.
Yeah, no, their secondary is bad. And it's like, what if you traded, like, a secondary guy that the Browns got? Is that...
Give him Greedy.
Is that something? Well, that's what this guy I work with, he was saying. Give him Greedy Williams, because we haven't seen any of Greedy Williams, you know? And, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that, you know? He's just another one of those, and I don't mean this, like, in a fucked up way, but, like, he's just one of those, like, tough-ass white linebackers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's more of your traditional middle linebacker. He's with the neck roll.
I'm not comparing him to Brian Urlacher in terms of, like, skill, but the type of player that he is. You know what I'm saying? Or who was that linebacker that played for the Patriots back in the day?
Teddy Bruschi?
Yes. You know what I mean? Just that hard, you know what I mean? Like you said, just in the mix of everything. You know what I'm saying? So that could be interesting. Do I think the Browns do it? Probably not. But that was just another linebacker, you know, proposal that I had read about online the other day. So it's like, you know, who knows? It also says that the Bengals could take him, or like the Texans, or, you know, or the Rams. You know, those were like 4 teams that were potentially in the mix to land him. So being interesting, you know. So I don't know. We'll see how Mack Wilson plays. I don't like giving up on people, but it's like, you know, at a certain point, enough is enough, you know.
Yeah, enough of the tweets. Can we see it on the field?
Right. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Moving forward, we got the best segment of the week, the 5th quarter, the quick picks, locks, and upsets. Last week, Sean outscored me 13-12. He got me on the Eagles game. Was the Eagles versus the Niners?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you picked the Niners, I picked the Eagles. So hey, it is what it is. You live and you learn. You learn to fight another day, and I'll get him this week. So, with that being said, you want to do your locks upsets, or you want me to jump on it?
I'll start I'll start my upset. My upset this week. Let me scroll down here. upset. A lot of good games this week. My upset this week, I'm going to take Philly over Dallas.
What?
I really like Jalen Hurts. That division always plays each other really well. They always do. Philly's defense is, from what I've read and what I've heard so far, is a lot better than it was last year. I don't know. I don't think Dallas is going to play bad. It could be a shootout. Philly's got the offensive firepower to score on that defense, because we know Dallas' defense isn't good. They've got Hurts, they've got Smith, they've got Goddard and Ertz and Miles Sanders, so they've got weapons. Jalen Reagor, they have guys who can make plays. So I think that'll be interesting. It's a Monday night game. Those games you never really know what can happen. So I'm going to take Philly there. My lock this week, I'm going to go with Arizona over Jacksonville. I think that's an easy one. I have Arizona in our survival league, so I'm gonna pick them in the lock as well.
So, my lock is going to be the Cowboys over the Philadelphia Eagles. Dak Prescott didn't play great last week, and it was 17-14. They won on a game-winning field goal from Greg the Leg. But either way, still like the Cowboys, like you said. They play this division, they play this division tough. I'm glad that this is a primetime game. Even though I hate this division, the Eagles and the Cowboys are they're shaping out to find their identity. You know what I mean? The Eagles lost last week, but they won week 1, an impressive win over, how did they play week 1? Did they play? Who did they play? Who did they play? Oh, they played Atlanta. They beat the shit out of Atlanta, 32-6. And then last week's game they lost 17-11. Is what it is. So, like I said, my lock is going to be Dallas over Philly. My upset, and this is ballsy, but we live for ballsy picks. You always tell me, oh, that's an easy pick. That's an easy pick. My upset is the Rams over Tampa Bay.
That's going to be a good-ass game. Game of the week,
great
for sure.
Great-ass game. For sure. So, I'm going to take the Rams over Tampa Bay, even though Tom Brady is playing. I say this every year. He's playing magnificent. They could win the fucking Super Bowl again this year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You could tell me Tampa Bay is your Super Bowl pick, and I wouldn't look at you like you're crazy. And it's not because, Tom Brady always has a great defense. Not saying the defense is not great, but Tom Brady's playing amazing. I can see if he was playing like shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he's not playing like shit. So, sorry, I don't mean to get off track, but it's taking the Rams over Tampa Bay. So, first game of the week, we got Buffalo versus Washington. First thing I want to say, Buffalo is -7, favored to win. They didn't look great last week. It wasn't until late into the game till they started to pull away, but they didn't look amazing last week. So,
yeah, they looked bad the week before, too.
Would I be crazy to pick Washington? No. Do I like Washington? Love Taylor Heineke. Scary Terry, great. I'm still going to pick the Bills, though. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'm picking the Bills to save my ass. But I wouldn't be surprised if Washington made this a close game. I think they're a good team. I think they could take that division. I think the only team in that division that sucks is the Giants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna take the Bills as well. Like we said, they've been rough the first 2 weeks. Eventually, they're gonna get it going because Josh Allen is good. And they have Stephon Diggs, and that's the biggest connection they need, really. So they're gonna get it going. Like you said, this could be a close game. Washington may hang in there, but I think the Bills do win.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo needs to find a run game, Singletary and Zach Moss both got a touchdown last week. One of them may have been a passing touchdown. Either way, but if they find a decent run game or just a decent way to get their running backs involved, I don't care if it's passing it out of the backfield. I don't care if it's a halfback pass. I don't give a fuck what it is. You get your running backs involved in a successful way, the Bills are a scary team. Next game, we got Baltimore versus Detroit. Give me Baltimore.
Yeah, Detroit didn't look bad against the Packers for a lot of that game. Kind of surprised me a little bit.
First half, it was 14-14.
Yeah,
they were up 14-0 against the Packers, and then Aaron Rodgers just. Aaron Jones had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So
I think they'll be able to score on Baltimore. They have a lot of guys out for COVID defensively. I think Lamar obviously is going to basically just put the team on his back again and win this game.
Yeah.
But
impressive win over the Chiefs last week.
Yeah, very impressive. Detroit's going to score though. They're going to score some points.
Yeah. I'm not putting my trust in Jared Goff though.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So not yet, at least. Next game we got the Chargers versus the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs. They're going to have a bounce back week after losing last week. I think they score a lot.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think Tyreek Hill might get 200 passing yards again. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my mic. I don't need to, make it sound like shit. But yeah, I'm picking the Chiefs over the Chargers. Like you said, bounce back game from losing last week. So yeah, then we got the Falcons versus the Giants. Dumpster fire of the week. Sound the alarm. I don't even know who to pick. Daniel, I'm picking the Giants.
Yeah, I'm taking the Giants too. I don't know why.
That Thursday night game last week against Washington and New York wasn't a bad game, dude. Daniel Jones didn't play terrible.
No, he didn't.
The dude has wheels. Saquon, didn't really get involved, but Daniel Jones isn't bad. The Falcons I don't know where they're at. I don't know where the Falcons are. They're not here. They're not here. So
yeah,
give me the Giants. Too. And I just said that the Giants were the shittiest team in that division, and I truly believe that. I think the other 3 teams are miles ahead of them. I think Washington is the best team in that division because of their defense. Their defense at the front their 4 defensive linemen are all previous first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
So, I think they're the best team in that division. So it's kind of contradicting of me to talk highly about the Giants, but give me the Giants over the Falcons. Then we have the Super Bowl Cardinals versus the Jacksonville Jags. Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah, this was my lock. Cardinals all day.
Kyler Murray's playing very well. MVP? Question mark? Too soon?
Wow. Too soon.
We'll see. Next game. God, I'm eating my words so bad. Miami versus the Raiders. Give me the Raiders.
Yeah, bro, they're balling out.
Give me the Raiders.
I mean, they're going to fall off. We know that, but
Derek Carr playing magnificent. Not elite. I don't know what Keyshawn Johnson is smoking on ESPN. Derek Carr is not elite, but the man is playing out of his mind. Knocks off the Ravens week 1, knocks off the Steelers week 2. I'm here for it. I am absolutely here for it. So yeah, give me the Raiders. Darren Waller, we know this is good. And they beat the Steelers without Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
So, even though Josh Jacobs he's not like great, but, just some perspective. Then we have Seattle versus the 0-2 Vikings.
You mean Seattle? This is easy.
You think? Yeah, the Vikings got
on crack.
I think of the receiver. They got Dalvin Cook. Adam Thielen's been playing well.
Even play.
Okay, we'll see. I didn't know that. Damn, got some spot. Shit. So yeah, Seattle versus the Vikings. The next game we got Monday night game. Philly versus Cowboys. This was your upset. This was my lock. So this is going to be. We've picked the same team all the way up until here. So this is either going to make or break one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we didn't talk about. We picked this week's Thursday night game last week. We both picked the Cardinals. or the Cardinals. The Panthers, they won 24-9. Tyrod didn't play, which we didn't know that last week. So, yeah, just so people don't think we forgot about the Panthers. Next game, we got the Bears versus the Browns. Give me the Browns every day of the week. We don't even got to talk about the game. Nothing. Browns are favored to win by 7.5 points. That's tied for the most. Never mind. There's another game. But yeah, Browns are favored to win by 7.5 points. Give me the Browns every day of the week, twice on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely taking the Browns, no doubt about it.
Then we got the Colts versus the Titans. Titans winning that game in overtime last week. Impressive. Who did they play? Who did they beat? I just know they hit a game-winning field goal. Oh, they beat Seattle. They beat Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Titans. Carson Wentz is still trash.
Yeah, I'm taking the Titans because Carson Wentz might not even play like it's even gonna matter.
Really?
Yeah, he's hurt.
Then we have the Saints versus the Patriots. Give me the Patriots.
Yeah, dude, I'm taking the Patriots, man. They're playing pretty well. The defense is playing good. Jameis, the Saints completely fell flat last week after blowing out the Packers. I don't think they know who they are right now either. So I'm going to take the Patriots.
Yeah. Then we have the Bengals versus the Steelers. It's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a good game. I think Joe Burrow's going to play pretty well. Who is that defensive? He plays like defensive end for the Bengals that they just signed in the offseason.
Trey Hawkinson or something. I don't know.
Something. I watched him play pretty well last week when they played the Bears. Pretty sure that's who he is.
I'm taking the Bengals.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals. Big Ben might not play.
Johnson's out.
A pectoral issue. What's his name's banged up. TJ Watt's banged up.
He's not even playing. He's out.
Oh, they said he could have played.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I seen that they said he has the option to play, but oh yeah, give me the Bengals, dude. Then we have the Broncos versus the Jets. Give me Denver times a million.
Yeah, give me the Broncos.
A million. Let's just talk about Zach Wilson for a second. 4 picks, 6 of 12 last week. I think he had like 50 yards and 4 interceptions.
Rough.
And their backup quarterback is a nobody too. So interesting. I got the Broncos picked in both my Survivor leagues this week because they're playing the Jets. So
yeah, they're definitely gonna win.
And Teddy Bridgewater is my fantasy quarterback. You know, he doesn't make mistakes, and he threw a 300 piece last week. He might do it again this week. So yeah, moving on. We got my upset. We got the Buccaneers versus the Rams. Good game though. Good game. Very good game. Like you said, game of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams. Antonio Brown is out this week because of COVID. I think that's definitely going to affect that offense, even though they do have Godwin and Evans. AB is a big part of that offense. So I like the Rams in this game.
Yeah. Rams are good, man. I think you said that they could. You picked them to go to the Super Bowl or win their division.
Win their division.
Hey, they could if they had a decent running back. Which, what's his name? Isn't it Henderson? Is he the running back?
Yeah.
Not terrible, but, you know, if they had a better run game, I think, you know, it'd be good. Because Matt Stafford he's good. That defense is good. But, so we'll see, yeah. And then last game, which is the Sunday night game. We got Green Bay versus San Francisco. I want to take Green Bay.
I am taking Green Bay. San Fran's offense, running backs are all banged up again, so we know that's their focal point. So,
yeah, I want to take Green Bay. I mean, they had a good bounce back game last week after the second half against the Lions, and Aaron Rodgers just played well. Aaron Jones had 4 touchdowns. I mean, I'm gonna go with Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm taking Green Bay for sure.
I think they win that game. So, that's all the games, that's all we got. We got some good games, Philly versus Dallas, Tampa Bay and the Rams, Washington and Buffalo.
Yep.
Some good games, I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to see this Bengals and Steelers game too. I'm excited to see how they play banged up Pittsburgh. And it's always a good week when the Pittsburgh Steelers lose. So
Definitely.
Last week, swept the board in fantasy. Won my fantasy matchup. Both my Survivor leagues I won. Browns won and the Steelers lost. Best week ever. So maybe we can duplicate that again this week. Who knows? So that's all I got. If you got anything to add, we'll wrap this bad boy up.
You got it all covered. If you see us in the Muni lot, don't be afraid to say hi.
If you're listening to this, by the time you listen to this, we'll probably be in the Muni lot consuming large amounts of water, hydrating for the game. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. Times a million. So with that being said, if you don't got anything left to say, all I got to say is go Browns. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the other side.